Hello, my most amazing artists. Today we're going to learn about Henri Matisse. Henri Matisse was born in 1869 in a small town in France. His parents owned a general store and wanted Henri to take over the family business, but he decided to become a lawyer instead. At 20, he got very sick and had to be admitted to the hospital, so his mother bought him a box of paints, and that is where history was made. Henri painted almost every day while in the hospital, and from that day on, he decided to be an artist. Matisse was called the king of color. He recognized color played a big part in how we perceive life and how we feel. Later in life, he developed a sickness and was bedridden. He still created art in his bed by using a bamboo stick topped with chalk, and he even drew on the ceiling. He started cutting out shapes with scissors and called this art form drawing with scissors. So today we are going to be drawing with scissors, just like Henri Matisse. So of course, here are your supplies. Top on the list, you got it, a pair of scissors. A glue stick, I'm using some colored scraps, but I'm going to show you how you can make your own colorful paper, as well as a piece of plain paper to assemble your collage. All right, so let's get started. Once you have your collage paper, you're going to want to have a couple of pieces of colorful scraps. Now, some of you may or may not have access to some of those colorful scraps, so you can make your own. All I did here was take a plain piece of white paper, divide it into 4 sections, and color. So I filled each of those 4 boxes with a different color, just colors I knew that inspired by Matisse, those nice, bright, vivid colors. And today our subject matter is going to be winter trees. Last week we made snowmen, and this week I have a feeling that winter trees are going to be something that we're going to be seeing very soon with some snow. So here we have some of our very own homemade colorful paper, which can easily now be cut into our small scraps. Okay, once you have your paper, you're going to want to think about creating shapes. Now, trees come in all different types of shapes. So for example, I have some ready for you. You can use simple triangles. You could also use a triangle that has a small stem on the bottom. That would work as well. I'm going to emphasize that you don't want to throw any of your scraps away, because as you can see, we're using the scraps in some cases, the positive shape as well as the negative shape. So you want to save those scraps so that you can use them in your collage piece. Even those scraps left over come in handy. So you want to think about composition. You don't want to have too many pieces of white space. So you can see here, this is a really big white spot. So I need to start filling that in. And you want to make sure you use a variety of colors. So I already have some zigzag trees, we'll call them. I have some triangle trees. So I'm going to show you how you can create a very simple shape. One of my pieces of advice for this is to take your scrap and fold it in half, and that way both sides will look symmetrical. So while you are creating that folded shape, you can simply cut, or you could plan out your shape in advance by starting on the fold and just drawing your simple zigzag shape. I'm using white so that you can see. So that is your basic winter tree, the evergreens that you see. So once you have it, notice fold on this side, opening on this side. I'm going to cut. Do not cut the fold or your tree will be in 2 parts, and then you'll have to use them in another way in your collage. You also want to make sure, as I mentioned, save those scraps. So cut carefully, and now I have a positive shape that I can use, or maybe I decide that I want to use the negative space, which is also really cool. Now, if this looks kind of big and you want to cut it down, you just trim it to the size that you would like. Careful not to trim off anything that you need for your shape to remain intact. So perhaps this shape, I want to put someplace in the center here to do some rearranging. And you can see already, just by simply adding this big black bold shape, it gives my collage a whole new perspective. So I'm gonna just lift these up so I don't have everything covered over here. And arranging some of these shapes, maybe I decide to put this small purple one inside this tree now. I still like this shiny red, which I had some scraps from, leave that here. And I do like having a little half of a piece at the bottom. So remember, you want to make some of your shapes all the way around your edge somewhat interesting. I might decide to use this, maybe two black next to each other. I don't think so. Maybe that one goes up there and I just cut the bottom of it off. So this is just a simple way you can create an arrangement of winter trees. Now remember, you want your collage to look colorful, you want your collage to be interesting, and you want to use a variety of winter tree shapes. I hope you enjoyed learning about Henri Matisse and making some art drawing with scissors.